guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here with my roommate Brian and my sister Zoe, and we are going to be doing a little challenge video where they are going to be guessing the plots of books based on only their covers. So I want to thank my patrons for choosing this video. My patrons choose a video for me to do every single month, and this is the one they voted on. They just voted for one with Brian, so sorry if we're truly letting you down by also including my sister.
No, come back!
No! But Zoe was visiting, and I thought it would be fun to have two people face off for this challenge, because this is how we did it in ye olden booktube times. The other thing about this video is that it was brought to you by Skillshare!
Skillshare!
Which is an online learning platform where you can learn a ton of really cool stuff. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month, which is super cool.
Sharing's caring. Skill sharing is caring.
The first 500 subscribers who use the link in the description can get the first 2 months Skillshare membership for free, so definitely click on that link. And in the spirit of this video, I would say it would be super fun to take classes on graphic design, because as we are going to find out as we go through these books, you can tell a lot about a book by their covers. And if you want to get into graphic design, Skillshare is a great place to start. Go take classes, check the link in the description, and with that, we can move on to the video. So, I have 7 YA books here that Zoe and Brian are going to look at. 7 total, and they are going to try to tell me the plots of those books. We never figured out a point system. Should we get a point for being right or a point for being creative?
I think that you get to choose what's most creative, and that's worth 1 point. And then if they get it right, that's worth 2 points.
Okay. 2. Whoever gets the most...
It's worth
2. And whoever gets the most points wins a prize we didn't determine either. I think last night my suggestion was a big ol' ice cream.
Ooh, I like old ice cream.
And I like big ice cream.
So we're set.
Well, you want to go rock, paper, scissors for who goes first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, on shoot or on...
1, 2, 3. So on 3.
I'm more comfortable with
so
shoot.
So 1, 2, 3, shoot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zoe goes first?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've organized these in what I think is a least difficult to most difficult order.
Ooh.
Somewhat. I've done the best I can. So, the first book that we're going to go with is... There it is.
I'm reading the back.
Wait, I just realized something. If I won rock, paper, scissors, does that mean I get to choose who goes
yeah,
first?
you can choose who goes first.
I choose for you to go first.
Okay, for this first book.
So, we are going with Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz. So... What is...
By who?
Benjamin Alire Saenz.
Can I hold this while I...
Yes,
say?
but you can't look at the back.
I'm not. Okay, so this book is about Aristotle and Dante.
Whoa.
You might know them from history. They bought a truck together, and they are going to travel the USA. This is a buddy book about them taking a road trip across the United States of America. And while they go across the United States of America, they learn some secrets about the universe, about themselves.
Okay.
And they meet these people from the award that they were given, the Pura Belpre Award. They meet Pura and Belpre along the way. No, but it's a buddy tale.
It's a buddy tale
about a road trip across America. In this truck.
Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe is about 2 lovers, Aristotle and Dante, who, this is not just a truck, but a spaceship.
Ooh.
And they travel across both the universe and the Greek underworld. Aristotle was Greek, right?
That's sure.
I don't know who Dante is.
Oh,
like,
no.
Oh, Inferno!
Yeah.
As in Inferno, Dante's.
Disqualified.
So yeah, this is a spaceship, and while they're in space, a tire goes flat.
Okay.
And they have to ask people for help, and those people tell them secrets about the universe.
Okay.
They don't know these people.
No.
At all.
Oof.
Bold statement. Okay. So... Neither of you were right.
At
all.
Who is more right?
Zoe was more creative.
But was she more right, though? Are they in the universe?
Are they buddies or lovers?
They are lovers. Yeah! That's...
Buddies can be lovers. I should have known.
Yeah, it has a Stonewall award on the front. Stonewall is gay.
Okay.
Based on the books that you read, I'm gonna guess every single one of these.
You're not right.
Oh, no.
You're not right. I'm gonna let you two judge who was more right. I don't think either of them got close enough to get the right point.
All right,
I think Zoe gets a creative point, though.
Okay, she can get a creative point.
So this is a historical fiction book set in the late 70s, early 80s. And it's about two Mexican-American boys, Aristotle and Dante. They bond over one teaching the other to swim, and then they slowly fall for each other while also dealing with being queer and Mexican-American.
What's the red truck got to do with it?
That's just like a touchstone of their relationship.
So they don't go to space, do they?
They don't go to space. But they learn secrets of the universe.
But they are lovers.
And they are lovers.
Okay, so...
Do we split the points?
Sure,
You get a point for
1 point
not being
and
in
2
space,
points.
and 1 point for being lovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, net positive, you get a point.
Okay. The next book that I have selected is Graceling by Kristin Cashore. Okay, so Zoe, what is Graceling about?
Graceling, let's see. Let me look at some of the details. Some of the artwork.
Artwork is an important skill to learn.
Graceling is about a small person named Grace. Graceling. Like fingerling potatoes, how they're smaller.
Like Gosling. This is a Graceling.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has very blue eyes. This cover shows a little eye.
Okay.
And she carries this knife with her everywhere and loves it like a brother. And, covers it in blood, which she uses to do art.
But what is, like, the point?
Oh, the point. The point is that she goes to kill somebody.
Okay.
Right? To use their blood for her paintings.
Okay.
And she accidentally falls in love with them instead.
Ooh. Okay. Brian, what is Graceling about?
Graceling, obviously,
Okay.
is about a girl named Grace. You had that right.
Okay.
But she's going to Graceland, home of Elvis.
Home of Elvis,
right?
correct.
Because she wants to kill Elvis. She doesn't know he's already dead.
Whoa.
So, she's taken this magical dagger from her great-great-aunt, who was a witch in Scotland. That's why it's got these little things here, right? Okay. And she has taken this magical dagger with her on her trip to Graceland to kill Elvis. But along the way...
Isn't it Graceland? Why are you pronouncing it like Ireland?
Graceland. And along the way, she learns that Grace is not just her name, but a state of being. She learns it from strangers. It's yet another road trip book. And the blue eyes, that's a misnomer. She has gray eyes.
Okay.
I have a question about your summary.
Uh-huh.
Are you implying... How old is Grace?
She's a teenage girl. She's a teenage preteen.
And she has not learned that Elvis is dead or the definition of Grace.
Correct.
I'm just clearing that up.
Correct. Preteen.
Okay. So neither of you were remotely right.
What?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I would say that weirdly the road trip angle isn't inherently wrong. So Graceling is about a girl named Katza.
That is a very misleading title.
Yes.
But in this fantasy world, there are people who are graced with special abilities, so they are Gracelings. You are able to tell who they are because they have eyes that don't match. Their eyes are different colors.
So her eyes are not blue. Only one of them is.
Only one of them is.
But is the other one gray?
No, the other one's green.
Yes. Together they make gray.
Katza is an assassin for the king because her grace is killing. And she meets...
Killing.
And then she meets a guy named Poe, who is also graced, and both of their graces are possibly misleading, and they do start to fall for each other.
You said assassin for the king, like the king of rock. She's killing for the king. Booyah. I got it right.
I don't know how to award
Got
points
it right here.
for this.
Does she do any drawing?
She's not really a drawer, no.
Mm-hmm. So I think I get the points there.
I think Brian might get the point there.
Yeah.
Creativity.
You can have 1 point. I'll have 2.
Yeah.
How about that?
I don't know how we're doing this. Okay, the next book that I've chosen is Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Bashardoust.
This is a retelling of Snow White.
Okay.
It is a story of 2 girls. One who follows the Snow White sort of character,
Okay.
right? And then another girl who is from like a different kingdom.
Okay.
And their kingdoms are enemies. But these 2 are star-crossed lovers. You know, they're the Romeo and Juliet
Okay.
of 2 girls, right? And you
You
can't.
can
You had me go first. And so these 2 girls, they fall in love, even though only one can be queen of this whole land that they are fighting for. So it might not be different countries, maybe like different factions, but these 2 girls are definitely on opposing sides of some kind of conflict and end up falling in love.
We're getting a little general. Okay. I'll accept these.
Little general.
A little general. What is Girls Made of Snow and Glass
I think
about?
this one's pretty easy. It's about girls made of
Ooh.
snow
Literally made of snow.
and glass.
Okay.
Literal snow and literal glass. Okay.
Their bones break every morning and every night.
You brought SpongeBob into this, and for that, I'm a little grateful.
I stand by there are girls made of snow and girls made of glass.
Okay.
And they only come out when it's wintertime.
Okay.
And the glass is actually icicles, so it's snow and glass.
So it looks like glass, but it's ice.
I'm getting a little bit lost.
Okay, but what is the point of the book?
Point of the book is it's a horror novel. These are their claws. To bring it back to the graphics, Skillshare. All these icicles that are coming up, those are their claws. And so, like, once every 100 years, all these girls made of snow and glass come out at the winter solstice and start killing children. And it's
Ooh.
about trying to shatter the glass and melt the snow and bring back summer.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Brian was pretty damn close. But Zoe got an element that you didn't.
What's that?
Okay, so, the
I
girls...
hope it's the claws.
Yeah,
I hope it's in their bones break every morning.
This is in fact a Snow White retelling, and it is in fact a female-female romance.
Cinderella?
No.
Oh.
No, it's just Snow White. The Snow White character has a female-female romance, but the other girl is not the one that she's in love with. The other girl is her stepmother.
Oh.
So this
that would be
is
awkward.
yeah. So this is a retelling, but it's about how like society has decided who is the good and who is the evil in the Snow White evil queen thing, instead of ever allowing them as women to speak to each other. So it's about how the men in their lives have controlled their own stories.
We're the worst.
And Zoe was right in that one of them is in fact made of snow and one of them has a heart made of glass. So I'm gonna give you the 2 points for being spot fucking on.
Yeah.
And I like the horror element, so I'll give you 1 creative point.
Okay.
So
5.
I think the point is actually for the SpongeBob reference, if we're being honest.
don't tell the people. So we've got another girls title, because this is a YA stack, so it was bound to happen. The next one I've grabbed is Girls of Paper and Fire.
I got this one in the
by
bag.
Natasha Ngan. So I'm gonna hand this off to...
Wow. As the previous one, there are girls made of paper, and no, that's not my summary. I can't do the
It can
same
be.
joke twice.
You...
If you keep going, it'll be even funnier.
There are girls made of paper, and there are girls made of fire.
Ooh.
And it's like rock, paper, scissors, but it's playing out in real life. And instead of rock and scissors, it's paper and fire.
What's the
Unfortunately,
third one?
nothing defeats fire
Ooh.
because there's no girls made of water.
Ooh, which paper famously defeats?
Actually, I think water defeats. I've just decided. The quest. It turns out that
twist.
they're both evil. And so our main character, Magua, is
Ooh.
is working very diligently to find the water source that will destroy both the girls made of paper and the girls made of fire. She extinguishes the fire. She can't stop the paper because even when the paper is soggy, it's still killing people. And so
Killer paper.
paper. It's just like moving a little bit slow. It's like zombie paper.
Ooh.
It's a zombie book about paper girls.
Wow, this has really gone off the rails.
And we're gonna bring it to a close.
We're gonna bring
now.
it to a close, which is that her girlfriend comes back from her trip to South America, and she has brought with her fire that isn't made of girls, and she lights the paper on fire, but the fire doesn't turn into a girl.
So it takes place in our world,
Yeah.
Yes.
in South America.
No, she came back from South America.
To
Where?
Detroit. Like a fantasy version of Detroit.
I'm just gonna take that.
Girls of Paper and Fire is a fantasy novel
Okay.
about sorceresses. Is that the sorceresses?
Okay.
In that there are women who practice magic or spells that are written down on paper, right? And then there are fire elementals.
Okay.
And our main character is a fire elemental at her core. She knows how to control fire magic, but she's also being trained as a witch with spells.
Okay.
But there is a conspiracy amongst the coven, and she has to discover what that is. So it's fantasy, and it's mystery, and girls are kissing because they've fallen in love. You know it, and that's what this is. It's just a beautiful fantasy realm mystery, lovely book.
Okay.
He stole the fantasy thing from me, and I said that first.
You
said it was
South
in
America.
Detroit.
I said Detroit, but a fantasy version. Check the tapes. Check the tapes.
Okay. This is set in a fantasy world and an Asian-inspired.
You want that on the tape right
I
there?
genuinely did not even fully realize I was doing that until you all looked at me.
It's an Asian-inspired fantasy, and every year, 9 girls of the paper cast are selected by. He's kind of like a demon king. And 9 of them are selected, and they are sex slaves to the Demon King.
As I said.
And then this year, a particular girl catches his eye because she has these golden eyes, and it is about girls falling in love, but it's about them trying to escape the Demon King's palace together, where they've been subjugated.
Her eyes are like fiery, right?
Yes.
So at her core, she's like fiery.
She's a fiery.
Which is an elemental type of thing. Wow.
I can't
believe
give
I
you
got
points
it.
for Detroit.
Fantasy Detroit.
Fantasy Detroit is plausible. You can write a book about anything.
I don't think you were right enough to get 2 points. I'll give you 1.
Yes.
And
She
I
gets
get
none.
I don't
You
think
get
you get
none.
any.
Come on.
So Cece's going to throw up the scores right here.
The next one that I've grabbed is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, which is the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy.
Oh, we got a lot of words on here. A lot of scribbles. Looks like multiple handwriting. Chaos Walking. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is closer to like a horror suspense book. The Knife of Never Letting Go, I'm assuming is some sort of artifact. Our main character is male, and they are attempting to work their way through this horror mystery.
Are there any more specifics to this mystery that they're solving?
Yeah, there's a lot of writing, a lot of prophecies
Sure.
that have been written down.
Okay.
A lot of just, almost chaotic writing
Right.
that is discovered
Okay.
by our main character. Also, there's another boy that he falls in love with, because that's what happens
Okay.
in books.
This is a romance book that takes place in just like an alternate reality. It's very similar to ours, but it's different because the sky is orange all the time.
Like a fantasy
Instead of
Detroit.
No. It's an alternate reality. That's all we need to know.
Okay.
There's these 2 people,
Okay.
and they write letters. Well, no, they haven't started writing letters to each other. They meet, and one of the main characters, like, kills another person to save their lover. And then...
Any more specifics about these two characters that you'd like to give?
One of them is tall and one of them is short.
Ooh.
Old.
Controversial.
Okay.
So one of them kills an enemy of the other, and then from that point on they become lovers, and they start writing letters to each other, and the one who is defended, the short one, holds on to the knife as like a symbol of their love. Okay. But then there are events.
Why aren't they together?
Which transpire.
This is such a long description.
I'm very bad at this.
Why are they writing letters?
They're writing letters because they live on different sides of the alternate universe.
Oh, okay. Different sides of the universe.
Distance.
Yes.
Got it.
Distance is keeping them apart.
Okay.
And then one of them wants to move on, but they never want to let go. And so the one who is short holds on to the knife as being like, oh, I never want to let go. And the other one starts dating other people and burns the letters.
Ooh, so they physically never let go of that knife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I refuse to give either of you points.
I'm just so bad at this.
So the Knife of Never Letting Go is set in the future, kind of. It is part of this small community where a boy named Todd has grown up. And it's all men who live in the village. It's not gay.
Yet.
It's not gay.
That's why I kept the pronouns vague.
And in this community, all the men can always hear each other's voices.
Oh, okay.
Like thoughts in their heads. And then one day, Todd stumbles upon an area where he can't hear anyone's thoughts. It's totally silent, and in that pocket of silence, he finds a girl, and he's never seen a girl before. And then this ends up being like a big book about internal struggle and growing up, and masculinity, and how there is no right choice when it comes to war.
So, horror. It's very scary.
It's not scary.
Does anybody stab anybody?
Definitely stabbings.
There are stabbings.
I mean, I said there was a knife.
Yeah.
She already said she wasn't going to give us any points.
I'm not giving either of you points. Second to last book I have is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab.
This savage song is about a girl named Claire who lives in the streets of New York.
Okay.
There's
There's
not
multiple
plural.
New York.
She lives on the streets of New York.
Okay.
And one day she's in her apartment and she hears like this beautiful violin music going on, and so she climbs down her fire escape, and there's like a troubadour, isn't that the thing in Gilmore Girls, who like plays on the streets?
Yes.
I don't watch
that
Gilmore Girls, but
legitimately the correct word for that.
a troubadour down there who's like playing some hot jams. And Claire falls in love with him.
Wait, you said she was living on the streets. Why did she climb down a fire escape?
No, I meant like she like lives among the streets of New York. She's not actually a homeless person.
In New York then.
Yes.
So what this...
She's a woman who lives in New York, and she falls for a troubadour.
Specifically on the
She lives street adjacent.
Okay. Street adjacent.
What is the point of the romance? Like what is the thing that drives this?
It turns out that the music that he plays is actually like magical. It has magical abilities. Savage, you may say, in that you become overly addicted to them and it drives you mad. Okay. And she goes crazy, but she can't stop falling in love with him.
You're pretty close. It's not New York. You're pretty close. Actually, about a girl who plays the violin, and she finds out that she has the ability to kill using her music. She finds out that using her music, she is able to affect people, affect their mental state to the point that she can kill them. She finds out that there's someone else who is able to kill with music, and that person is killing a lot of people, but she's being framed for it in this magical version of our reality. Okay. She now has to find the killer herself and stop him. Otherwise, she will forever be known as the murderer.
Okay.
So
just hand this up to me. So I want to understand something about each of your magic systems, because I've decided that's how I'm awarding points here.
Got it.
So what was...
She has to go first. She went first.
What was your magic system? What was the deal?
The song is so beautiful that it, like, gets entrapped in your brain and, like, legitimately makes you go insane. Okay. And so, like, it's one of those books where you start being like, what is happening in this story? Like, she's seeing reality has just become distorted, but she still just sees him in this magical light because he can play such beautiful music.
Okay, no, see, mine is genetic.
Okay.
She finds out that she is from a long line of individuals who are able to use music and sound to influence the thoughts and behaviors of others to the point that she could even kill them.
Does that mean the killer is related to her?
Maybe, right? Or they could be from another line. We don't know yet.
Okay, so since both of you were pretty wrong about the plot, I am going to award Brian a point for the magic system. I'm sorry. I have to. So you, magic and music are obviously a part of this. This is a version of our reality where, basically acts of, like, violence create monsters, and depending on the severity of the violence, it creates different types of monsters. This is about a boy and a girl, August, who is one of only a couple of monsters that exist, that have been created from a mass tragedy. So he's the worst kind. And there is Kate, and she is the daughter of the man.
Kate sounds awfully like Claire, don't you think?
I did think it was pretty
kind
good.
Of.
So it's Kate. It's Kate and August, and Kate's father tracks down monsters and kills them.
Ooh,
but August
is a monster.
August is a monster who longs to be human, and Kate is a human who longs to be monstrous. And
pardon me, good sir.
And there is no romance in this book. It is just about the two of them meeting. But
the main characters are a boy and a girl.
Yes. The type of monster that August is, Sunai, they use music to entrance their victims, and then they, like, steal their soul.
Not make them go crazy. Entrance them.
Entrance? I said she was in a trance like everything was hazy.
No, but he was more accurate on how he...
In what way?
Because it takes over the person so that you have utter control over them and you can kill them.
It affects their emotions. You can control their emotions as opposed to just making them go insane.
Yeah.
A trance could be either one. A trance could mean either thing.
Okay. So the last book that we are going to do is Wilder Girls. This is by Rory Power. It's a brand new release.
It says that they told us to wait and stay alive. It's the Wilder Girls. Set amongst a second generation of girls. The girls who came before them were known as the Wild Girls. Okay. These are the Wilder Girls. If they were to give birth to more girls, they would be the Wildest Girls.
Okay.
These particular Wilder Girls are so in touch with nature that they can become part of nature. They can... They can become part of nature. They can become one with nature. Okay. They can free themselves from their body and imbue themselves into the natural world around them. And their job to wait out an apocalyptic event that is happening. And they soon find out that the event that they were told is going on might not really be what they thought it was. Okay. They have started to come out of their area, their safe space, and they're finding out that there are people out there that might not be that bad.
So it's the island.
It's not the island. Okay. It's not the island at all. Okay.
I would just like to say that the whole creative thing that I had planned was totally just thrown off by the fact that I can no longer use the fact that they're part of nature.
You can.
You can.
You just have to use it in a different way.
Yeah.
I see this as a companion novel to Little House on the Prairie, featuring Laura Wilder.
Ooh. Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Is she the author or the character?
Sure.
She's both. She is the character. That's all that matters. Her descendants. It's been years. This takes place in modern day.
Okay.
But it's basically her descendants were eventually killed. They were sliced up. Lara told them to wait and stay alive. But instead, a bear came out of the woods and, just wrecked them. And their bodies, absorbed into the soil. And they now are, not just they've become, they have grown, they are plants. Okay. But they don't know this. They don't know
that they're plants.
No, they still think that they're walking, breathing people because,
Do they look like people?
No, they are plants.
They're just plants. Like
just
grass.
By the way, let me just say, this is a beautiful cover, and I wish that I had the skills to design a cover that looked so good.
And all of this is getting cut.
Yeah. The point is that one day a boy is venturing into the woods, and they all fall in love with him.
All of these tree nymphs.
And they're trying to figure out who gets him, who has claim. But the problem is he thinks he's just being attacked by trees.
Like in Wizard of Oz. They're throwing apples at him.
Yeah. Anyways, he eventually dies, no one falls in love, and it ends really dark. Okay. And Laura Wilder is looking from heaven.
Laura really Ingalls Wilder?
Yeah, her.
Okay.
She's very disappointed.
Wow. So, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna have to give Brian a point for this.
Shocking. This game is rigged!
This is YA horror, sort of.
Ooh.
Mine was pretty horrific.
Right.
It was a horrific attempt.
It was horrific. I would say, to best convey to Brian what this is like, it's very similar to the book and film Annihilation.
Ooh, okay. Screaming bears.
Okay, no, but, plants. So this is... Bears!
There are no bears.
You should watch Annihilation.
It's really
That'll
good.
just mess you right up. This is set in the future where a disease called the tox. The tox has happened, and basically...
Like the
TikToks. And it causes people to morph into horrific things, so people's eyes start folding in on themselves, and they're it's really horrific, and they're all told to wait in quarantine, and then one of the girls goes missing, and so they have to go past quarantine to see if they can find her, and it's very, very gay. There aren't boys. It's super queer.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
I want to read that.
No, but. Huh?
I want to read it.
Don't be so narrow-minded. Boys can be queer.
Boys can be queer.
Boars can be
Boars
queer,
can
too.
be queer, too. Example 1, Lion King. Gonna have to get the points of Brian. So...
This was this one exactly as I expected. In fact, this wasn't on film, but I've said at least twice before the video started filming that Brian's answers would be both correct and funny, and mine would be neither.
That's true, she did say that.
Funny.
If there was one thing I was correct about in this video, it was that.
But good try.
Thank you, guys, for being here in this 100-degree room. Brian won! Yay! If you want to be one of my patrons, if you want to help choose a video that I make every single month, the link will be below. If you want to join Skillshare, the first 500 of you that use the link in the description can get their first 2 months free. Thank you to Brian. Thank you to Zoe very much for being here. You've been awesome. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!